kind of believe that the artists will save us. Art will save us all. You know, it's just such who wouldn't want to come to Berwick? I came of age in the 90s and diehard Prince fan. Well, that's a lot of pressure for a writer. I'm going to say fizzing.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to OR8. I'm James.
And I'm Bodie, and we are joined today by the lovely Clare. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Not at all. I guess, we know you a little bit, obviously being in similar circles and stuff, seen you around the Straw Yard primarily, and I've done some sort of freelancing bits with the Lit Fest. For the benefit of everybody else, could you tell us a little bit about your background, yourself, your work?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a marketeer, so my job is a remote job, which is great because it enables me to live in Berwick. They're not based in Berwick. And I moved here about 18 months ago and was looking to make some pals with like-minded people. I guess I'm a writer. I need to be more sure of myself when I say that, but unpublished. So I've always had a love of literature, and actually the fact that there was a literary festival in Berwick was kind of helped me decide to stay. So I started volunteering with the Literary Festival, doing their marketing, and now I'm involved with the Berwick Writers Forum as well, which I really love. And yeah, that's kind of how that happened.
Yeah, so it was pretty organic then. You just sort of found the Lit Fest and you thought, connect the dots a little bit here and
yeah,
sort of people.
I literally thought I'd probably be able to like tick off some names off a clipboard, events and things. Yeah. And but actually they said, oh God, no, we really need a marketeer. So if you don't mind, doing what you do during the day for us as well. And yeah, that's kind of how it started. And it's been really exciting actually. Like there's such a good team. We're a team of volunteers. So there's only one person that is not a volunteer, that's paid operationally. Yeah. But everyone is everyone knows what their job is. Everyone gets on and does it. Everyone trusts each other. Yeah. So it's a really great team. It's nice to be part of.
So it's a nice environment to work in, isn't it? When you can just sort of crack on and, like-minded people.
Yes, 100%.
Well, I guess it's a nice sort of segue into what the Lit Fest does. I mean, like year in and year out, there's been that sort of festival at the end of the year, where it's September, October time, isn't it?
It's October, yeah. October. So this year it will be the 5th to the 11th of October.
But I mean, there's events that go on all year round,
yes,
like the podcast and little bits that go on at the Straw Yard.
Yeah.
So I guess a little bit on those, maybe like the bits that are happening off on the side.
Yeah,
from the main festival.
Exactly. I mean, we're really conscious that we continue to deliver a festival that's useful and of value to the community as well. So, as the festival grows, I think when it started, it was probably, a 2-day festival. Right. And now it's a week long, and we're getting bigger and bigger names, and more people are coming kind of to Berwick, into Berwick for it. But we're really keen in kind of forging that community spirit all year round. So we work really closely with Lorena at the Book Loft to help bring authors into the town. And, sometimes that's an author that she would love to bring, and we can support her with marketing and sometimes tech and team. And sometimes it works the other way around. But also the Berwick Writers Forum, which has been really lovely. It was something that had been talked about, I think, for a couple of years. And we're still not really, it still doesn't really have a defined shape to it. It's basically an email list. It's basically a community that we keep up to date with, courses, workshops, celebrating publications of, people have, writers in Berwick have work that's published. And we also run the Cabaret of Words, which is a bi-monthly open mic night for writers. And that's been really popular. Every event at the Straw Yard gets booked out.
Sold out, isn't it?
Yeah. It's such a lovely event. We typically have 8-10-minute performances on the night that people can sign up for. Some people share, we've got quite a few published writers that come along and share early work or test out things. We have poets, we have essayists, we have memoir. It's a real, we're not prescriptive at all. It's first come, first serve.
It's a real mixed bag already.
Yeah, real mixed bag. And what's lovely is that we have an audience of around 50 people that come and kind of cheer them on as well.
Yeah.
So that's great. I really enjoy that. And then as well, we recently just ran a 6-week course of workshops on journaling, which you were helping us film for, called The Present Page. And that really is just for anyone. Journaling and writing, I think, is one of the great things about it is it can help you excavate things within yourself.
Yeah, totally.
And also, just noting observations, what's going on in the world. I think, it's really beneficial. It's an exercise in being present. So that's been happening. And of course, Between the Lines, that you're helping us to turn into a podcast.
Yeah.
These are bi-monthly conversations with writers, both from Berwick, and also we bring well-known writers into Berwick as well, so that writers or people who are interested in the process of writing can kind of learn a bit more about the process that there's no one right way or wrong way to do it. And I think that's what we're learning with each event and every conversation that we have.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sounds, through every answer you've given, it's community based, isn't it? Like, it comes back to feeding back into Berwick. It's locals that are sort of, but again, maybe not even locals, people that have moved into the area, but now locals. That has to be the sort of motivator, doesn't it? Like, is to give back to Berwick and the people here.
Yeah.
Because that's who's consuming all the festival and who you're hoping to come out. So, I guess maybe like what the motivators are for a group of volunteers to tirelessly work year in, year out is something quite special.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we do it. I think we obviously all share a love of literature. And when I say literature, we're very keen to stress that, we celebrate words, spoken, written, performed. So, we're looking at moving more into songwriting and lyrics as well, which I know you guys will be interested in. Literature doesn't have to be stuffy. It can be thought of as quite a stuffy word. Mm-hmm. I think what motivates us is, the fact that literature allows, or, writing stories allow us to step into the shoes of someone else really convincingly, in a way that a news story or a documentary can't even really manage. And that's really important, I think, in the age that we live in, to be able to empathise, to be able to learn. We're a small town in northern England, but it's great to be able to step into the shoes of someone living in India or Peru, or, and to encounter some of the challenges that we may find familiar to us, or that might be completely different and that we haven't even thought of. I think personally, I kind of believe that the artists will save us. Mm-hmm. Art will save us all. Yeah. And it's the kind of counter that we have that sits in tension to a lot of the problems I think we see today in the world. Yeah. A lot of the power struggles.
So what makes Berwick such an interesting place to put the literary festival on, for example? There's something that's so unique about it that it stands out.
I mean, yes. I think, it's just who wouldn't want to come to Berwick?
Yeah.
And, for the community that lives inside of Berwick, who wouldn't want to come and hang out around Palace Green? And, we've been really lucky the last 2 years, actually, the weather's been great. So it's been really nice, sunny times down there. I think it's the beauty of the place. It's the grit of the place as well. It's not a toy town, like so many towns we see that have been gentrified, or, just holiday lets after holiday lets and no one actually living there. I think that's really what sets Berwick apart. I think it has a huge community of talent and creatives. Yeah. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the big skies.
We've sort of had that conversation with every guest, and it is just a total mystery. Like, Berwick is this sort of hybrid place, tucked away, that it just spews creativity and like say that talent. And I mean, a lot of those sound like motivators that you moved to Berwick for as well, because you're not from.
No, I'm not. No.
So obviously they sound like, the sea and the nature is a big one for everybody, and it's sort of the generic response. But there's a bit more. It sounds like your motivation to move up here, and obviously the community was again a big anchor in that.
Yeah, I just couldn't, moving from London as I did. I think I'd lived in my borough in London, which was Teddington. It was quite a nice sort of green, leafy area of London. I'd lived there for 16 years and I knew my 3 neighbours, you know, in the immediate location. And I moved here and, you know, people would ask if you want to stop for a coffee on the street, you know, like, oh, I've seen you around. Are you new? Have you moved to the area? And it was just mind blowing. I loved it. And now I have, you know, a bunch of friends that all live 10 minutes away from me because the town is so small.
So you walk across it.
Yeah, it's like living on campus again. It's great.
Everything's just on the doorstep, basically.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you've maybe faced over the years, putting maybe the literary festival on, or in your writing? Is there any sort of main challenges that you've sort of faced?
God, which one first? Well, I mean, I think for the festival, you know, the challenge, it always comes down to money and fundraising, and that's, you know, there is so much we want to do. You know, marketing can tell the story of what we're doing, but it doesn't tell the story of what we want to do. We want to hold more readings in care homes. We want to do more with the schools in the local area. We do a lot with the schools already. And, you know, expand as well into putting on events that younger people can enjoy, music events, again, focusing on lyrics and songwriting and that side of things. But also I think it's, you know, the challenge that we try and get right is making sure that we're striking a balance between introducing people to new voices, new work, new mediums maybe in some instances, but also making sure that we're putting enough of the favourites on. You know, we have a huge population of crime readers here in Berwick. So it's great to see that Ben Humphrey, who's one of your previous guests. Debut author Ben Humphrey. It's great to see him releasing a crime novel that's set here in the north and in Berwick. So those are the challenges, I think, with the festival. And then with one's own writing, I mean, for me, and I think it kind of differs for everyone. For me, it's the discipline of it. I think I write long form fiction. That's kind of my interest. So novels predominantly. I've not managed to finish one yet. And the problem is, I think you have to kind of keep the story alive in your head and your heart for a long time to feel it, to kind of go back to it every day. And the minute you have an interruption, you know, and life gives you enough of those, and you maybe spend a month away from it, it's really hard trying to get back in and remember where you were. And, you know, so, often you have to just start again, I find.
I mean, that I totally get because again, the music sort of thing, you start one thing and you maybe don't find exactly what it was you were looking for in it, or you try and get frustrated or whatever. And again, you take that break and you're like, I'll come back to this, and it just sits. Or, you know, we were on about that with Alex, weren't we? Where, you know, we'll sit and we'll have an idea and take a voice note or a video or whatever, and then it sits for months and months and months, years and years, and never gets touched. The discipline, I think, is quite a universal thing for creatives, isn't it? You've really got to push, and it is a lot of hard work. That when people think, oh, you're an artist, like your life is, you get to sit around and write or paint all day, and it's like it's not that glamorous.
Oh, it's a psychological battle with yourself every day. Absolutely. And I think, you know, that's what makes artists and creatives really special. It's not just what they produce, but it's everything.
It's the creative mind.
The sacrifices you have to make, you know, in life, the things you don't do because you're at the desk or you're at the easel or you're at the guitar.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think you've got to be really passionate about it as well, to have that passion to sort of drive you to then do those things and sort of get them down on paper as well. Yeah,
and I mean, you know, not everyone loves every aspect of everything. You know, it's probably the same for you. I love editing.
Yeah.
But I don't really actually love the messy work of writing. And I can get caught on an editing loop, you know, which is just bad news. You know, and I really have to force myself to sit down and, you know, write the crap that eventually I'll get to spend time editing as a reward.
So what advice would you give to someone locally who's wanting to sort of get into this field and the scene of maybe script writing or, you know, launching sort of an events festival?
Oh, fantastic question. Yeah. So I would say if you're looking to launch something, get a good team of people you can work with around you, because it's a lot of work to do on your own, even though it's a small town, doesn't matter. If you want to be more involved with literature, whether you're a a fan of literature and you want to be closer to the festival, I would say sign up to the newsletter that's on the website. If you are looking to meet like-minded people, I would always encourage you to volunteer. Like, it's such a lovely, friendly team. Both the day-to-day team and the wider team of volunteers who help us put events on, and it's a really great community. If you want to be the first to know about festival news and the release of the lineup this year, become a patron. It's £35 a year. Again, you can sign up on the website, and there's a host of other benefits. Patronage is really what allows us to keep this festival going and to cover the kind of operational costs and all the boring things that, you don't get to see, like equipment and storage and things like that. And if you're a writer, whether that be, poet, long form, whether you just enjoy playing around with words, do get in touch with the Berwick Writers Forum. There's people at all stages of their career, of all ages. When you have a common interest, that you can get on with anyone. Other things like age or demographics or where you live or where you're from don't matter. So it's a really, really good bunch. And again, you can sign up for news. All you have to do to be a member of the Berwick Writers Forum is sign up for the newsletter. That's it. It's as easy as that.
You mentioned earlier that you sort of read as a bit of an escape. So, in a big bustle city of London, you can escape to, like, say, maybe India somewhere, or the countryside, or the rainforest. And so I guess that you've moved into a new area, totally new experiences, in every aspect of life pretty much. That has to sort of feed into your work a little bit. You pull some inspiration from what's around you, and you can instead of reading a book to immerse yourself, now you can immerse yourself where you are and put that to your work.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, when you've, exactly as you say, when you've got a good book on the go, every train delay, every late bus is just a joy. That I think is what I love about reading. It's so accessible. You can just literally carry a book around on your phone now and never be without one. But yeah, being in Berwick I do find it really inspiring. And I think, actually the writing I'm working on at the moment is an old project that was set in Florida, weirdly, but I'm actually going back to it and resetting it. Not necessarily in Berwick, but in a town very much identical to Berwick.
Is there a memorable sort of event from like the literary festival over the years, Claire, that you've sort of thought, oh, that stuck out with me, or something that's been quite special?
Yeah. Actually, it's a running joke. So last year I didn't get to go to much of the literary festival because I was running a conference in my other job. But I did make it back for the weekend, and my favourite event was Gwyneth Hughes, who was who wrote Mr. Bates versus the Post Office.
Right.
So she's a scriptwriter, screenwriter, and I think what she talked about really struck a chord with me. She was saying, that story about the post office and the Royal Mail and the scandal, and people were being accused of theft, for anyone who doesn't know the story, and really finding it impossible to prove their innocence. And they were actually thinking, well, it must have been my mistake. They were paying all this money back, going bankrupt. Just awful, really tragic stories, how it affected people. And it had been in the news, and, I was aware of it. I read about it in the papers. I think I'd watched the Panorama documentary, but it wasn't until I watched that documentary where you actually, live the situation as a character, because that's what literature does, that's what fiction does, that it really kind of came to the fore of public awareness. And I can't remember now which awards it won, but, won awards. I think, for that reason, really, it struck such a chord with so many people. And I think that's it. That's the magic of literature for me.
Fantastic. So I think we should move on to our quick fire round.
Yeah, so to every guest that's sort of appeared on the guest seat, we've posed the three quick fire questions to. Just curious to hear your responses.
Right, let's do it.
So, realistically or not, who would you have perform or play in Berwick?
Well, I came of age in the 90s and diehard Prince fan. So,
good choice.
I'd bring him back. I was lucky enough to see him at Shepherd's Bush Empire in one of
wow.
the like really small free gigs he did.
Yeah.
And it was like 10 a ticket, queued for 4 hours. It was the best time of my life.
Fantastic. Second question is physical or streaming. So when you're listening to your music.
Streaming.
Oh,
Um,
I think that's the first streaming that we've had back.
Oh, right, yeah.
Maybe it's controversial. I mean, I do try and listen to albums because, the storyteller in me really appreciates that. Streaming also introduces me to so much new music that that's a joy for me,
I think we've been saying it's like convenience of streaming as well. Like it's almost too convenient to sort of obtain all this new music. But it's obviously popular.
Yeah, and just the convenience of, flagging what you like, what you want to listen to more of. That's. But I won't give up on. I mean, I've still got a big box of CDs in the loft, and maybe I should every now and then.
Yeah.
Which service provider is it that you use for streaming?
Spotify.
I think that's obviously the most common one now, isn't it? Great.
And then we've been asking everybody one word to describe the local music and art scene in Berwick.
Oh, one word. Oh, that's a lot of pressure for a writer. I'm going to say fizzing.
Fizzing, great word, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's. You asked for one.
Yeah, I know, short and sweet.
Hopefully, it sort of is obvious what I mean. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Have you got any sort of the wrap up? Have you got any like big projects happening apart from the Literary Festival? Is there anything external that you're working towards or coming up?
There's not much time for stuff beyond the Literary Festival, perhaps until after October when it's on. But we are excited we're creating an anthology of writing from Berwick writers.
Okay.
So there'll be more on that on the berwickliteraryfestival.com website.
Yeah, great. The next part was where can we find some of the the Lit Fest and the Writers Forum stuff? Maybe keep up to date with the events going on. Obviously, like you said, loads of stuff at the Straw Yard. Maybe where to find all the juicy details. Yes,
so berwickliteraryfestival.com, but actually also our Instagram, which is at Berwick Lit Fest, and we have a Facebook page as well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Claire, for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been really insightful and lovely to chat to you as always.
Lovely to chat to you too. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of OR8 Podcast. We're very much looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.
If you want to catch us up, you can find us on our usual social pages. If you want to learn more about us, we're collaborate.co.uk on our website.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.